It's all about IT and Reliance Industries. So if I look at the list of gainers, it includes 3 IT names: Wipro, Infosys, Tech Mahindra, add in a Yes Bank and the big boy, Reliance Industries. In fact, Sonia is here to talk about Reliance Industries. Sonia, brokerages are quite upbeat on Reliance Industries.
Well, thanks a lot for that. Yes, Reliance is up ahead of its numbers on Thursday. Goldman Sachs has put out a report where they say that Q3 FY19 will be a stable quarter for Reliance. In fact, it could surprise investors on the upside given the volatility in the hydrocarbons business. But they are expecting the volatility in the hydrocarbons business to be offset by a very strong consumer business. And they say that the retail business is something that could really surprise on the upside. They expect Reliance's EBITDA to double by FY21, and they maintain a buy with a target price of 1380 on the stock. CLSA also echoes this view. In fact, they have a very high target price of 1500 rupees. They say that there's a humongous $550 billion retail opportunity that beckons for Reliance Industries. And there are a couple of triggers which indicate that Reliance's retail revenues could rise over 12 times to $137 billion by 2028. Now, they're saying that Reliance is doing a couple of things. One is they are bundling up the product offerings with geo connections, and large physical store presence could give Reliance a big lead in the electronic space. Also, their wide portfolio of premium fashion brand joint ventures will keep it at the forefront as premiumization plays out. And what they're also doing is they're testing an e-commerce platform where they're listing a lot of mom-and-pop stores, and that could catapult their position in the food and grocery business. So they're expecting Reliance to get to 25% market share in the retail space versus low double-digit currently. And that's the reason why the stock perhaps is also in the green today.
Okay, all right, Sonia, thanks so much for that. Well, let's focus on the stock that was just flashing for you on the screen, Jet Airways. Remember, yesterday, post Ritu Singh's big exclusive, the stock had a big run of close to around 10% odd. From today's peak, though, it's come off the high point of the day. But as Ritu is picking up, the resolution plan is still on the cards. Ritu, fill us in.
Well, Nigel, the update is that all the lenders to Jet Airways have decided to meet tomorrow. That is on Wednesday to finalize the resolution plan for Jet Airways. And yes, as we've been reporting, the plan under works involves Etihad bringing in fresh funds and taking up its stake from 24% currently. Do remember, FDI Aviation allows foreign airlines to own up to 49% stake in an Indian carrier. We haven't yet been able to confirm to what extent Etihad's stake will rise post this restructuring. Also, importantly, as part of the overall restructuring plan, part of that 8,000 crore rupee debt will be converted into equity, which means banks will then own stake in Jet Airways. Thirdly, we understand Naresh Goyal has been asked to step down from the board, and he will be replaced by his son Nivan Goyal. But their stake will also fall significantly to almost half of what it currently is, and their voting rights will be capped at 10% as per the plan that is being agreed upon. The meeting is tomorrow, so we'll hopefully have more updates by then, but we are expecting some sort of a resolution to be reached within this week.
Actually, Ritu, stay on. Some statements are coming in from Qatar Airways where they are quite attracted to the Indian market. So they are saying they're interested in launching an airline 100% owned by us in India. I think they also spoke about interest in Indigo Airlines. They said they definitely look at Jet Airways if 24% stake is not held by Etihad. So not limited to looking at Jet only. They go on to say they would be delighted to take a stake in Indigo as well. And the stock is reacting positively. Ritu, anything that you've picked up on Qatar being in the race?
Well, so far, no. Qatar's name has not been brought up as far as the resolution for Jet is concerned. I think the more immediate concern is the infusion of funds, because there's 1,700 crores of repayment that is due for Jet Airways between now and March, and that is something that the lenders want to tackle first. So, as far as talks with Qatar is concerned, we have not been able to independently verify this. But yes, perhaps there'll be more clarity after the meeting tomorrow.
Okay, thank you very much for that. Let's move on to Yes Bank. That is a big mover today. It's gained close to about 5%. It looks like the CEO search is narrowing down to Ravneet Gill, the CEO of Deutsche India.
Yes, Rima. So, sources tell CNBC TV 18 that Ravneet Gill, the CEO of Deutsche Bank, is in race for, replacing Rana Kapoor as the MD and CEO, because the board of Yes Bank has named him as their #1 candidate to RBI. And the hierarchy of name is in hierarchy of the preference given by the board. So, #1 name is of Ravneet Gill, and he's led Deutsche Bank for 6 years and has various experience over 30 years across banking verticals. Now, if you remember that that this candidature may get a swift RBI approval, given the fact that only 6 months back, RBI had given a nod for his renewal of his term at Deutsche Bank. So due diligence time may reduce for RBI because they have already done the due diligence for Ravneet Gill. Rajat Monga is the second candidate in terms of the preference by Yes Bank's board. Yes Bank has refrained from commenting on our story. Back to you.
Okay, all right. So that's about Yes Bank. Big run from yesterday till today in 2 sessions, up close to around 10%. But Abhishek, tell us about ICICI Securities as well. Those numbers look disappointing.
Exactly, Nigel. So the numbers are really disappointing. If you look at the revenue growth, that is down about 18% YOY and about 12% sequentially. The profit in itself is down about more than 33% YOY and about 24.5% quarter on quarter. The reason for decline in profits is due to weak capital market and tighter regulation in terms of mutual fund fees. So client-based growth has also moderated or come down to about 10% on a YOY basis. CLSA has cut down the target price to 360 from 380 earlier, but they maintain their buy stand given the valuation. However, for FY19 and FY20, they have cut down their estimates by 14% and 18% respectively. Back to you.
Okay, thank you very much for that. Not done just yet. We've got Anisha to tell us the other stocks that you should have on your radar this noon. Anisha, it's Wipro on top of your list.
Oh, well, yes, it's top on Nifty's list as well because that stock has surged around 5-6%. It has got a booster by the fact that the board is going to decide and consider on the bonus issue on January 18th, so something that is keeping the stock afloat. In fact, the entire IT space, as you guys were pointing out, has been up and about. The rupee is hovering around that 71 mark, giving a bit of fillip to all these IT names. So Infosys, Tech Mahindra, all are flying away. Moving on to Indiabulls Ventures, that one was up around 3-4%. The company reported its numbers and they looked rather good because the profit had doubled on a year-on-year basis to 120 crores and the AUM is also up to 183%. Other than that, Axis has actually initiated coverage on Torrent Pharma, so we are watching out for that stock. They say that the earnings growth visibility is strong and that's why they are positive on that stock. And lastly, keep an eye out on Punj Lloyd. That stock was flying away up around 5%, and the reason is that they have initiated some proceedings against one of their parties in Singapore, Malaysia, and that is for around $58 million, and they have they're looking to get back that amount as per the bonds. So that stock is also moving higher. Back to you guys.
Okay, all right, Anisha, thanks so much for that. Well, a couple of other stocks that are moving around. Linde, keep an eye out on that stock. Remember, now the price discovery will take place in terms of what the delisting price will be. So, all the bids will be submitted, and then by the end of this month, hopefully, we'll hear what exactly is the delisting price. Then you have the promoter that has an option to go ahead and accept that price or reject that price. I remember maybe around 7-8 years ago, the delisting price was at around the 600 rupees and that got rejected. So let's see this time around what happens. It's up 4.5%. The entire delisting process is currently underway, so keep an eye out on that one. And the other stock I'm looking at is Eveready as well. It's had a good run in the last couple of trading sessions. Today as well, it's moved to the high point of the day. The market is waiting by, will the promoters sell stake? How much will they sell? At what valuation? And in fact, whether or not this deal will happen, no confirmation from us here at CNBC TV 18. But that stock is up another 3.5% in today's trading session. But let's do a quick recap of all the buzzing stocks we just covered. We have Reliance Industries, Yes Bank, Jet Airways, ICICI Securities, ID stocks like Wipro, Infosys, Tech Mahindra, and we also have stocks like Indiabulls Ventures, Torrent Pharma, as well as Punj Lloyd.